Hello, everyone. Welcome in to a new live stream that I am doing called 1111. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Essentially, you donate 1111 and you get a in-depth reading with me. Plus, I add oracle cards into your reading, which is not something I typically offer. Not for any particular reason, I just haven't. And so I have a bunch of oracle cards here today. I have the Emotions Oracle deck. I can't remember what this one's called specifically. We have the Romance Angels. We have the Crystal Angels. We have, I can't remember if this one's called the Lover's Path. Maybe that's a different one, but I have the Romance deck here. We also have the astrological deck as well. So all of these to provide additional insight. Per your request, you also can, is for your oracle, you can ask for messages and so on and so forth. So that is what we are doing today. It's just 1111 to donate and you get an in-depth reading plus oracle cards. We are going to start per usual with our free reads for today. So whenever you're ready to do that, feel free to ask. Hello, Amy. Welcome in. Hi, Alishba. How are you? I think it's been a while since I've seen you, Alishba. Hopefully you're doing well today. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Very cold in my house, but we have our air on auto, so it doesn't get colder than a certain temperature, it doesn't get hotter than a certain temperature, and right now we are at the coldest temperature. So I'm bundled up with blankets. It's very temperamental here where I live. Like, you can be freezing in the morning and then like burning up at night. It's crazy. So we really try not to mess with the temperature too much or our electric bill will be sky high. We just suffer through when it's too cold or too hot, and eventually it balances itself out. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just kind of bundled up. I'm probably gonna make some tea because that sounds really good to me right now. I've started this new thing where I've been going on walks every day, and I started that yesterday. So I'm slowly working my way up. I want to get to between 30 minutes and 40 minutes every day. I would love to get it up to an hour, but I also want to be realistic. So just trying to get some more movement back in my day. And then whenever it's not nice out, I'll be doing like some stretches and yoga, but just trying to get movement in my life every day. Before it got colder, I used to do 30-minute walks. Yeah, and it's pretty cold here. It's getting much colder. Yeah, it's cold, don't get me wrong, but I am like still trying to like push through that because it's good for your body to be exposed to the cold and cold weather. So I'm literally forcing myself to go outside, even though it's uncomfortable. It's really good for you. So even though it's freezing, I do it anyway. All right, so yes or no for So Amy, to say that they feel the same, I'm getting a no, but let's see if they felt the intimate or sexual energy, period. I am getting a yes on that. So maybe not in the same way as you, but they are feeling it. I need to get back into it too. It's like a habit that you just really have to just do. You can't really think too much behind it. I actually really haven't I never set out to do this in a very public way. I was never I didn't tell my husband oh, by the way, I'm going to start taking walks, or I didn't tell my sister or anything. I just kind of just decided to do it, and I'm home during the day now that Brennan is at a physical job. And so basically I just wake up and go for a walk, and it's been really nice, but can't really think about it too hard. You just got to get out there and do it. I'll take my cell phone with me, and I'll listen to a podcast or watch one of my shows or something and just walk around the neighborhood. Alishba says, is Bilal overall happy and in love with, did he like the gifts which I sent to him? Show me a yes or a no. Oh, Alishba, thank you for congratulating us. Show me a yes or a no for Alishba. Alishba, I have the Tower. I feel like overall he's happy, but I'm getting is he in love with it? Is it the best thing that he could have gotten? Is it his favorite thing ever? I'm not really getting that. But I think overall he was pleased overall. Yeah, definitely go for a walk, Amy, if you feel called to do so. Yeah, Amy, that's what I was getting. Oh, Alishba, you're so sweet. Thank you. Ouch. All right, so you see the Sagittarius picking me over Taurus. Show me a yes or a no for Lala Loopsy. Wow, the lovers. I am getting a yes, Lala. And you're very welcome. So we have about 4 minutes left of the free list, and then we will be moving on to donations. Today is a new type of live stream called ElevenEleven, where you donate $11.11 and you get an in-depth question with me plus an oracle card. I have brought out the astrology deck, which is really beautiful, to add to your reading. I also have the romance deck here. I can't remember specifically what it's called, but it gives you additional insight, this is a sacred union. What's the energy around your connection? Maybe some messages that they have for you specifically, and then maybe some advice, things like that. Different things come out with this deck, and it's all very beautiful imagery of couples. This looks like a yin yang type of situation here. Then we also have the Crystal Angels deck of guidance, And maybe if you've been like looking into crystals lately or want to know maybe which ones you should look into further, that's a good deck for you as well. We also have the Romance Angels, I believe is what they're called. And then we have this deck right here, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's all the different types of emotions that you could feel. So if you want to know how someone's feeling towards you, this may be some insight into that. And then also, if you want, instead of oracle cards, you can do messages from your person added in. But basically, it's just an in-depth reading that you normally would pay $10 for, but you're getting oracle readings added in for $1.11. So really fun. Like I said, I typically don't mix tarot and oracle unless I'm doing like pick a card readings or some free reads. I typically will just do tarot only. So, and there's not really any reason for that either. I just haven't, or I haven't done it. So now this is an option that I'm offering to mix those together. I used to do it a lot. Like if you have been here like OG back in 2019, 2020, you know that I used to mix it up, but I haven't done it in a while. Hey, High Priestess. All right, do you see me getting pregnant with another baby with Chris? Show me a yes or a no for High Priestess, please. I am getting a no. Interesting. And when I flipped the deck over just to see like what the underlying energy was, I see the Four of Cups and then the Three of Swords peeking out. So either there's trouble here with conceiving, or someone doesn't want it, or it doesn't happen. Amy, I got your donation. Yes, correct. Moonlem, this is a yes or no free read. I'm on birth control, but I was curious because you never know. Well, then maybe that's what it is. Maybe because you're not off of it, it's like more likely a no, possibly. Never know what the future brings, just making sure. Yeah, I'm getting a no on that one. Moonlem, let's see if you get a yes or no card here. I have a no. I have the Moon. All right, we are moving on to donations. First up, we have Amy. So Amy, we can kick this off with you. Let me know when you're ready. Sounds good. Moonlem, it doesn't mean that things can't change. It just means that's probably how they're feeling right now. Can we see what's been said about me from Jordan and his parents, if they have talked about me, like how they're feeling? So you want to know if I can figure out what Jordan and his parents have said about you to each other. Is that correct? Okay. Mm. Okay, so the one message that's coming through is that he's not he's not communicating with them that much when it comes to you, but his parents are communicating to each other about it. So like this might be when Jordan's not around, maybe at night before bed or in passing or over the phone, something like that. I feel like his parents have communicated, like, oh, have you seen her around? Has he talked to you about it? Like, I feel like the parents are communicating to each other a lot more about this than what Jordan is communicating. I feel like their parents viewed you and Jordan related your company as something very happy to be around, joyful. We have the sun here, so like a lot of just good times, good vibes. A bright spot maybe in a time that's a little bit not so great. And I feel like they're noticing this disconnect that you guys are experiencing here. I have the Five of Pentacles with the Eight of Pentacles, and so it makes me feel like their parent, or maybe the way that Jordan is portraying it, is kind of like he's keeping his distance and not communicating about you as much. Hey Kay, thank you for donating. I'll be right with you. I'll be after Amy, okay? And I'm getting more so than like them communicating to each other, like the parents communicating to Jordan. It's more like the parents are communicating to one another. I feel like the parents are trying to push a little bit and find out what's going on, why they haven't seen you around. Is everything okay? I'm definitely getting a lot of that. And I feel like Jordan is being kind of quiet about that. Hey Kay, maybe later on tonight when I do a different broadcast, I'll be offering minis, but right now I'm doing the in-depth readings with Oracle for 11/11, and then I also have the channel reading option. I'll do the minis again, in the near future. Amy says, yeah, because I know he definitely has at least talked about me because his parents wanted to meet me. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, like, but we're talking about lately. I do feel like it's been less communication about you. Yeah, I feel he's been with all the depression he's going through, I'm assuming. So, the thing is that his parents have a really good, like, impression of you, and they really like you, and they like when you're around because they feel like it makes Jordan seem happier. but at the same time, they're not the type of parents who are going to sit there and like push in. If Jordan decides to bring you around, then they're happy, and if not, then it's just what it is. And so I feel like for them, it's more like communicating between the two of them. I've noticed that they're really worried about Jordan right now. They're more so worried about him as an individual than they are about the connection itself, but they do wonder about you. And they do wonder, like, if they're going to see you again, if you're going to be back around hanging out. I feel like for them right now, though, they're seeing the struggles that he's going through. He seems very directionless at the moment. For some reason, the word self-sabotage is coming through, and I don't think that's correct. I don't feel like he has toxic tendencies and self-sabotaging behavior or coping mechanisms, but I feel like they're kind of viewing it as self-sabotage. Like maybe they're viewing him as like, if you don't get your shit together, like you could lose her kind of thing. And they're like, please don't let this happen. So I feel like they're very fond of you from what they know. It's not enough to be like, you need to be with this woman and like convince him. But I do feel like, they liked maybe how he acted around you, or his demeanor seemed good around you, and I think that they would love to see more of that when it comes to him. But they kind of see like him being in this very undecided, closed off, quiet kind of mentality. Like he's mostly thinking like, here is restricted, here is in your head, here is unsure, here is things falling apart, here is things walking away, and again, more uncertainty. So I feel like for anything right now, they are more so worried about him as an individual, versus concerned if they're going to see you again. But they are talking to each other about this and observing Jordan and trying to kind of tiptoe around things and try to get as much information as they can, although he's not really communicating too much. So Amy, I can do Oracle for you, or if you'd like, I can do these messages to add on to your reading. Okay. And you said you donated again. All right, let me check here. It looks like it's still pending, Amy, so once it comes through, I'll let you know. I'm curious what Jordan has said to his parents about you, because that kind of like extends off of this reading. So we're going to see what he has said. Hey J Moon, welcome in. I have closed my free list about 15 minutes ago. All right, what has Jordan said to his parents about Amy? What has Jordan said to his parents about Amy? So I feel like he's saying like, she distracts me from the heartache that I feel, from the pain and sadness that I experience. She distracts me. I feel like he's saying that well, number one, he's grateful for you. But I think also he says to her that, like, or he says, maybe I said to her, maybe he's talking to his mom when I say this, but he said to his parents, I feel like with her, there's like something more here that I want to explore further. I think that he's speaking a little bit on fear. Like he's saying he is concerned about this connection, that he may not be able to live up to your expectations. He's saying that you're really smart and maybe you're even spiritual. He might talk about how like he feels like you've learned a lot and you've grown a lot in the way that you speak and carry yourself. He's very attracted to it. So when he talks to his parents, he will compare you to the other people that he has dated or been in communication with. So he might say that he might talk positively about you in ways that you're not like the other people. So for instance, he might say, she actually texts me, like she actually is interested in me and like wants to communicate with me, unlike so-and-so, or something along those lines. Like he talks you up to his parents in a comparison type of way. What else does he say? What else does Jordan say about Amy to his parents? Let's see. I think that with this card, he is saying that he hasn't talked to you much, and that's pretty much all that they get out of that from him. So he might say something like, I don't talk to her as much. I do miss hanging out with her, but lately things have just been really hard for me, so I haven't. And that's probably pretty much it. But these are things that he has said either recently or before he has said to them about you. And there was one other thing. What is it? Oh yeah. I had accidentally, like unconsciously said, he said to her. So I feel like he more so talks to his mom about these things. Hey J Moon, I will probably be back to do minis later on tonight, but right now I'm just doing my ElevenEleven live stream, where if you donate ElevenEleven, you get an in-depth question and oracle added into it. I think that it might have come through, Amy. I'm just waiting for the email confirmation. Yep, there it is. All right, so it did come through just now, Amy. So I'm ready for your second question. All right, sounds good. You're welcome, Amy. All right. So the first thing that's coming through is that he's feeling pretty lonely. I feel like he knows that he put himself in this position and that this was his decision, but I think lately he's just been missing human contact, like companionship, physical touch, communication. This is like people coming together and hanging out. And I feel like for him, he's just missing that human contact a lot. He's missing, maybe you had a specific touch or way about you. And I feel like he is starting to come around to realizing that he is missing that connection. Let's see. I would say he's thinking to himself that he's about halfway out of this episode, if you want to call it that. So he's making his way out. He's not quite there. He's probably halfway. But I think that also he feels bad because he feels like you might feel like he's just kind of left you hanging and left you alone. He really thinks about you a lot at night. I'm getting a lot of like evening imagery here. So that's when his thoughts on you are heaviest, is in the evening time. I do feel like he's working really hard to change and fix this. The main thing that's going through his head is that even though he experiences this frequently, it's almost like clockwork, he would love for a future to not involve this feeling. So for example, he says, I know every year for the last X amount of years I've experienced this, but I really am looking forward to a future where I don't have to worry about this anymore. I'm looking forward to a future where I don't have depression or seasonal depression. And I really want to find a way that moving forward, this doesn't get to me the way that it has been in the past. So I feel like for him, that's really important because maybe he is thinking about your connection and thinking about himself and thinking about his mental health and thinking about how like much easier things would be if he didn't have to go through this. So I think for him is just like seeking other answers because so far what he's been doing hasn't been working. So he is trying to figure that out. His feelings for you are still there. They're still pretty strong. Again, he doesn't know what the future holds or what your connection will be from day to day, but I do feel like let's just put it this way, I don't think he's entertaining anyone else. I think he's very much focused on you and himself right now. What does that mean, Amy? Is it like a little charm? I feel like for him, he's good being friends, but I feel like he wants more with you at some point. That he will not be satisfied just being friends with you. So what is going through his head changed. Main thing, I already mentioned it here with the death in reverse, but the main thing is that he wants to grow and evolve. He wants to change. He wants things to be different moving forward. I think for him, he's just like, I can expect this to happen to me all the time, but I don't want it to. I want my future to be different. I want it to feel different. I think also he's empathizing with you because, again, he's worried that you may feel like he abandoned you, or you may feel like he started something up with you and didn't finish it. I don't think that he's the type of person that likes to bring out feelings for him in someone and then just like kind of let it fall flat. I think there was a quote, I think it was Grey's Anatomy, and it was like, only a coward would bring out feelings in someone only to then walk away. Or like, oh my God, what is the quote? It's like basically saying like he's not the type of person to make you fall for him and then just bring out these feelings for him that you have and then do nothing with it. It's like only a coward would make someone fall for you and do nothing with it or something. Or make someone fall for them and do nothing about it. I can't remember the specific quote, but it's something like that. And I think for him, that's how he is feeling. He's like saying, like, I would not make this person fall for me and do nothing with it. So I am empathizing with her and like thinking about her and considering her throughout this process. Yeah, he would not be satisfied if he were to just be friends. So it seems, well, what are his feelings here? Does he share similar feelings with her? I would say yes, to an extent. I mean, you guys are still relatively new. So, I feel like he's definitely a realist. And whereas Amy, you might be more of the dreamer type. You might be more of like the fantasizer and like to romanticize your interactions and think back on them fondly and think about maybe what a future could be together. He doesn't go to that extent, I don't think. He doesn't get there. So to say that you guys have the same feelings, I can't say yes to that because he hasn't fantasized about these things and he hasn't put as much thought and energy into the connection that you have. But let's just say he is attracted to you. I feel like, again, he would not be satisfied with just a friendship. I feel like you might be a little bit ahead of him in your feelings, but I do feel like his feelings are there for you. The feelings that you would want him to have for you are there. He does feel happiness with you. That's one thing that's coming through here. And the good thing about that is that he thinks to himself, like, I rarely feel happy. It's hard for me to find someone who makes me feel happy. Oh my God. Oh my God. I literally just said earlier that he's feeling lonely. Like, I picked up on that so strongly here with the 5 of Cups, and then look, the card comes out. Again, I said he's missing your touch. He's missing hanging out with you. He's missing communication. And a message that he said to his mom is that he was grateful for you, that he is grateful to you, and he's grateful to know you as well. So I just think that it's important to take this reading as like, overall, this is extremely positive, and that he is looking for something with you more in hopes that in some way, somehow, that can be realized. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, that is what I have for you, Amy. Hopefully you like these readings and feel like I'm giving you a little bit of extra time than usual with these 11/11s. I really would love for people to partake in these types of readings with me. The long style readings, the more focused and, taking my time with the reading, those are the best readings for me. I love that kind of style. It's why I really love doing pick a card readings as well. I just haven't done any because time. But hopefully you enjoyed it with me, Amy. You do like these readings. You really appreciate them so much because it allows for you to take your time. Yes, that's what I was saying. I really liked it and connect either with me and the person. I agree. I definitely agree. I think minis are great. Minis serve their purpose, but I also feel like the message can get cut short. With the in-depths and oracle, you can really pull some extra details. So I really like that. Thank you so much, because I remember telling my bestie that sometimes I'm not allowed to know everything, even regarding this connection. It's really true. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, but I shared a little post on the community page, and it was basically like, it was like a drawing, like a cartoon, and it was basically someone passing a note to someone else in a class. And basically the person passing the note was supposed to be in this drawing the universe, and the person receiving the note was supposed to be us as individuals. And that you open the note up and it said you're not supposed to know everything. The universe was passing a note over to you saying like you're not supposed to know everything, get comfortable with not knowing everything. And like the person that received the note is the ego, and the ego is upset because the ego wants to know. But I do feel like if we were supposed to know everything, we would be born with a handbook. We would be born with a whole entire reel of information of how things are going to go, when they're going to happen. That's not the case. We can try to understand better. We can try to put ourselves on a better path. But it's hard because we're not always supposed to know it all. And I think that's one of the things is like, if you can grasp that, then you're good. If you can grasp that you're not supposed to know it all, then you're good. I think people like to use tools of divination, tarot, rods, pendulums, so on and so forth, runes, to try to predict and set themselves up for the best possible situation. And I feel like I like to use tools of divination like tarot as a way to guide us and tell us if we're on the path that we're supposed to be on, and if not, we can make adjustments accordingly. But we can't possibly know everything. And I think that's what I want to get better about, is being okay with not knowing or having control, which is something I'm trying to work on. And that's why I do my best to just let Jordan be. And I think that's beautiful. And I think honestly, like, when we don't force something, when things can just come to us, it's so much more magical, and it feels so much more sincere, so much more genuine, because we didn't force a situation. We just said whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And then when that person wants to be with you and chooses to be with you, I think that is the most beautiful thing. It is the most pure thing that I can ever experience. And I do feel that way. I feel that way with my husband now. It's like, no matter what he's been through, what I've been through, what we've been through together, he knows everything about me, every single thing about me. And he says, I want you anyway. And there's no more beautiful thing than I think you can experience in this world, is someone who accepts you for everything that you are, because that's when you know that it's supposed to be there. That's when you know it's real. That's when you know it's genuine. It's not forced. You didn't put a love spell on them. You didn't try to control them and squeeze them and smother them. You just allowed that person to just be there, and they chose to. And nothing in the world tops that feeling. Nothing tops the feeling of someone just wanting to be with you, for you. And so that's why it's so important. We don't force things. We don't try to control things, because if you do, you'll never experience that feeling, you know? as silly as it is, even though mentally my brain doesn't want to choose someone, but my heart has already chosen Jordan. That's what they say, you know, they say that you can't really help who you're falling for or who you love. It's difficult, but imagine how good it's going to be if and when he comes to you and chooses you, not because you tried to force him to communicate or force him to contact you or put pressure on him. He just said, this is what I want. That feeling you can only get when you surrender. That feeling only exists when you surrender. Exactly. Expect nothing. That's when it's beautiful. Cute. Well, this was fun. I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here because I do plan on being back again tonight and doing a second live stream. So I don't want to burn myself out too quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and just right now do a verbal last call. And then I'll be back probably with some minis tonight. And yeah. Okay, Amy, I will see you around. Bye, guys.